All right, our next bout of the evening is for the Featherweight Apex Championship, brought to you by Your Fight. First, please welcome to the cage, James Settle.
James Settle, undefeated at 7-0 out of Absolute Jiu-Jitsu in Bristol, Tennessee. And James Settle will be taking on Doug Achilles Williams out of Team Fast in Colburn, Virginia in this featherweight bout at 145 pounds. Doug Williams is the Apex champion and his belt on the line against the undefeated James Settle. Casey.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen Absolute Jiu-Jitsu here at Valor Fights, and James Settle is one of their top prospects. Very well-rounded, very good kickboxer, extremely good jiu-jitsu. Obviously, they're Absolute Jiu-Jitsu for a reason. And head up by D. Smith and their crew. And it's exciting to see him back here. This is sort of a super fight of two teams that have been around for a very long time.
James Settle, former Black Diamond beatdown and Titan of the Cage featherweight champion, and making his Valor Fights debut, has wins over pro Miles Williams, and that was back in 2014. That was the MMA Insider Fight of the Year in his win over Miles Williams, who's a pro. Only been a decision once in all of his career fights. So you're going to see some electricity from James Settle. All right, James Settle is in the cage. Back to Jennifer.
And his opponent, please welcome to the cage, Doug Williams.
Doug Williams comes out. Doug Williams is 7-4 in his career, but he is the champ at 145 pounds. Doug Williams out of Team Fast in Coburn, Virginia, the 21-year-old, the defending Apex featherweight champion, riding a 5-fight winning streak.
Exactly. That's one thing, is that his career did start out rocky. He had a great wrestling background, but he came into rocky waters, and then he ran into Team Fast, and Team Fast did a lot for him. That's a huge testament to that 5-fight win streak that he is currently on. But I will say this, James Settle is the toughest opponent, the toughest test of this champion to date. Settle is nothing to laugh at by any means, and I think this is going to be a war for the ages. Again, more of a wrestler versus jiu-jitsu striker here.
Tail of the tape between these two fighters for the Apex Featherweight Championship at 145 pounds. James Settle, 5'10", Doug Williams, 5'7". Settle is 23 years old, Doug Williams at 21 years old. And in their official weigh-in, Doug Williams at 146, James Settle at 145.
One thing you need to watch out for, if Doug Williams is able to secure the takedown, he needs to watch out for the guard and the submission skills of Settle. This is a guy who has competed in tournaments at a high level and really knows his way around the submission game.
The champ is in the cage. We go back to the cage for fighter introductions. Here's Jennifer.
This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the Hog's Red corner, he weighed in at 145 pounds, holds an undefeated record of 7 wins and no defeats, and represents Absolute Jiu-Jitsu in Bristol, Tennessee. Put your hands together for James Settle. And his opponent, fighting out of the OEB blue corner, he weighed in at 146 pounds, holds a record of 7 wins and 5 defeats, and represents Team Fast in Coburn, Virginia. Put your hands together for Doug Achilles Williams. Your referee for this action is Josh Ward.
Featherweight bout for the Apex Championship held by Doug Achilles Williams. James Settle is in the black trunks. Doug Williams, the champ, in the white trunks. presented by UR Fight. 3 3-minute rounds here at Apex 10 in Kingsport.
Well, look for Settle to come out with a ton of steam. He does train with that system of Dwayne Bang Ludwig, Bang Muay Thai. And so he does know his striking, but very, very light on his feet.
I was just about to say that exact same thing. Very light on his feet. Wide stance, very tall.
And he may be trying to juke and jive Doug Williams into the grappling game and then come out with some big shots there.
Hands down, an awful lot to start this fight.
Some range there
Takedown
by James Settle. Achilles Williams, he has him there on top. Settle using his hips, but against the cage a little bit. Makes it difficult. That half guard position, a good spot there for Doug Achilles Williams. Oh, here we go. Oh, and he continues to advance to that half guard position. Does Doug Williams, the champ.
Settle, known to be good off his back. And in that position to start.
Now we have the butterfly position here by Settle. Now, a competent Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner can use this to transition to virtually anything. He can stand up, he can sweep, sometimes even transition into submissions.
Doug Williams has one of the better takedown rates in Valor fights. And he's already got one in the books in this first round.
While passing the guard of Settle again, but Settle again very much working against the top position here. Williams needs to watch out here against the cage, because if Settle can get any kind of momentum, he can push Williams back to his back.
Doug Williams trying to advance. Been in control so far in this first round. Has the champ in the white trunks.
And again, the wrestler so neutralizing here to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Really, later in the fight is where you're going to see Settle open up if he has the cardio to do it, and looking for possibly the wrestling prowess to get a little loose here on the part of the champ.
Williams not very active on top.
Well, I think that Settle, for one thing, he's got that right arm of Achilles Williams noosed up there, and if he's able to get his right leg free, he can start to attack submission holds and positions here. It can be very dangerous. You have to be very, very careful, but you still have to be active enough not to draw the stand-up.
Settle with those long legs, you always have to be careful with the triangle.
Here we go. It looks like Settle going for that
arm
with the omoplata position, it appears, and right on into the triangle choke.
Final seconds of round number one. Williams is free. And that's the end of the round. Goodness. Look at Doug Williams letting Settle, his opponent, a threat to the belt, helps him up at the end of the round.
Yeah.
Doug Williams?
Doug Williams for sure, and definitely being dominant there. Now, one thing you've got to watch out for, Doug Williams, if he spent a lot of energy there, putting Settle on his back, how much energy did he use? This is going to allow Settle to kind of settle in, no pun intended, into this fight. And that's something that I'm sure that his corner there with D. Smith is telling Settle, is that we need to stay off our back. Let's use our striking a little bit, and let's utilize that jiu-jitsu skill, because it was virtually neutralized throughout the whole first round. And look at this, Doug Williams just pacing back and forth. He's looking really good, very fresh here.
James Settle has only gone past the first round 2 times. Second round win over Sam Baker back in 2014, and then decision against Miles Williams, a win back in 2014. Everything else has been first round, so this is a little bit of unusual territory for Settle, and round 2 is underway, 3 3-minute rounds.
All right, a little bit more aggression there by Settle right out of the gate with the strikes, and again, the champion closing the distance here with the body lock.
Let's take down defense by Settle. Doug Williams, so good with the takedowns.
And a big slam there. Beautiful control.
Stuck a knee, and there's another one to the shoulder.
Settle doing what he should be doing here. He's keeping his elbows in tight, controlling the hip there with his left arm. That's very subtle jiu-jitsu. And it, hopefully as soon as Williams makes a move, it allows him to again recover his guard, as he has done. Now he's really got to watch here, because here you'll see that rubber guard position this team worked a lot with the Eddie Bravo style of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so they know the rubber guard and how to tie up those arms into that omoplata.
Settle showing off his flexibility. My goodness.
Yeah.
Long legs, too.
Yeah, this is something where Williams, he definitely needs to be very aware, keep his hips centered, keep Settle's hips centered between his knees, because if he does allow Settle to find an angle, there could be submission attacks involved.
Doug Williams trying to sneak in little shots.
Yeah.
Body in the head.
But again, he has to watch. If Settle's able to pull that right leg in front, it could be triangle choke city.
Williams trying to advance his position.
And he does. Powers through the rubber guard of James Settle.
Williams is so good on the ground.
And it looks like he's in a good position here, but Settle, a tremendous guard, right back in there, very diligent. The only problem is that if Settle doesn't pull off the submission, then he loses on the scorecards.
Right. Williams stuck a knee to the backside and another knee to the body.
And that's one thing about Williams. He is in tremendous shape. You saw him pacing back and forth after the first round. He was ready to go. He was ready to go 10 straight minutes, it appeared.
Doug Williams hasn't gone the distance either. All of his fights have been finishes. And of course, a lot of them have been in his
Oh, here we go.
favor.
Look for Settle to start tying up here. An attack on the go-go plata here with that foot. You've really got to be precise with that to make it work, though.
Williams amping up his activity on top.
Yep. And watch for Settle also to change things up on the ground. You know, looking for the omoplata and then changing up to the armbar, to the Kimura lock.
Corners have been very quiet for these two fighters.
These guys are running. They're letting them roll, man. These are very experienced competitors.
And very good ones as well, as we've reached the end of round number 2, and Doug Williams helps Settle up again.
Show of respect here.
So,
and you can see it. Achilles Williams very excited. Look at him. He's very confident in his performance here. Settle, you know, he knows he's down by 2. He's going to have to come out in this 3rd round if he wants to become the new champion. He is undefeated right now, 8-0. I'm sure that he doesn't want to drop that first loss here at Apex 10.
So does he need to keep this fight standing up, or can he initiate the takedown and maybe see if he can be on top and be in an offensive position on the mat?
Well, you know, I believe to stop someone with that sort of striking or offensive takedown prowess as the champion, Doug Achilles Williams, in order to thwart that, you have to almost get him back on his heels. You have to be very aggressive with your strikes. And like you said, attack the takedowns yourself, but maybe just in order to counter the attacks of Williams, you know, keep him on his heels. That's how he's going to have success. But if he ends up on his back again, yes, he could get the submission. It is possible that Settle gets it, but it's not a way to roll the dice here.
Touch of gloves, round 3 underway for Doug Williams.
Big shots there by Settle.
Apex Featherweight Championship.
And Doug Williams back again on those hips. Looking to clinch up both legs here is Doug Williams. Now he does need to watch. The guillotine of Settle is good. Look at that.
Lifted Williams off.
I thought we were going to see a WWE-style pile driver here for a second. And a gorgeous slam back into the guard of James Settle. Now, again, in my estimation, it is Doug Williams' fight to lose here. I like the position of Doug Williams holding the top position in the half guard, as opposed to the guard or even the crossbody. As you saw before, when he gets to the crossbody, it's because of the jiu-jitsu prowess of James Settle, he's able to transition back to the hooks. Here, it's going to be very difficult for Settle to either get up or to reverse or submit.
And part of that is because Williams has one leg tied up basically in that position, right?
Exactly. He can't get up, but you see Settle looking in for that butterfly hook. That's one of my favorites, and he's able to keep the pressure off. But Achilles Williams, relentless here. Unless Settle is able to get his hips free and land a triangle or an armbar or complete that omoplata, it's going to be a tough score for him to win.
Well, you saw the strength of Doug Williams, too. When Settle got some separation, Williams just plowed through those legs and got back into his position now. Doug Williams, the champ, in this third and final round. Featherweight division at 145 here at Apex 10 in Kingsport. And Settle's got to get up, right?
Absolutely. And, a valiant effort by Settle. It's not that he's being, absolutely dominated overall. It's just he's unable to do the things he wants to do. In other words, nothing's crucial. He's not in danger of being stopped. He's still in the fight, but he's on the losing end of it.
Like the approach of Williams, too. He's still trying to advance. He's still trying to finish this fight. He's not taking a chance on the scorecards.
Sure. When you try to coast,
right,
you're cruising for a bruising.
Settle has taken some shots, a lot of little ones, but those accumulate.
And again, he looks back here looking for that rubber guard type position. Oh, here we go.
Hammer fist.
Big shots. Now, Williams has to watch out because he gets too anxious. That will open up those submission opportunities.
Would be the one thing for Settle at this point. Doesn't look like he's going to get up. But a submission from his back.
Absolutely, that is. But that is always the chance that can happen.
Doug Williams, though, is going to finish this fight with a flurry and again help Settle up. And Doug Williams feels confident that he has successfully defended his featherweight championship with Apex.
A tremendous performance here yet again by Doug Achilles Williams, our champion. I think he will go on to retain that title here.
Boy, and that will be 6 straight wins for Doug Williams, who has really found his stride. Doug Williams started out his career a loss to Aaron Davis back in 2010 in Honor in the Cage, then defeated Brad Wang in 2011 via submission in the first round, lost to Aaron Davis, a KO loss in only 12 seconds in 2011, then a gap, almost 3 years between fights, between 2011 and 2014, and he came back, lost to Jesse Ham, second round armbar submission in Titans of the Cage, stayed after it, lost again to Jeffrey Morris via submission in the second round. And Doug Williams at that point is 1-4 in his career, but 2 months later, less than 2 months later, month and a half later, got back on the winning track, defeated Austin Chandler at Titans of the Cage in 2 minutes and 43 seconds of the first round. Then a win over Scotty Henderson at Cage Combat in 2015. That first round armbar submission. Then defeated Chachi Tabor at Titans of the Cage. First round submission triangle choke. And then most recently, a very impressive win over Sawyer Ridge. That did go to the scorecards. It's the one time, other than this fight, that Doug Williams has gone the distance in a fight, was to Sawyer Ridge for that Valor, for that Apex championship back at Apex Fights 8. All right, we go to the judges' scorecards to announce our winner. Here's Jennifer.
After 3 rounds, we go to your judges' scorecard for decision. All 3 judges scored this bout 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, Doug the Achilles Williams.
Congratulations to the champ. Successfully defends his Apex championship. He's the featherweight champion, and he defeats James Settle and gives James his first loss in his amateur MMA career. Doug Williams moves to 8-5. He's now won 6 straight. What a turnaround for Doug Williams, who started out his MMA career 1-4. Even after a layoff, he came back, lost a couple fights, but stayed after it. And now he's gotten better every time we have seen him. And now Casey's in the cage with our winner.
With your winner and still Apex champion, Doug Achilles Williams. Man, this was your toughest test to date. James Settle, undefeated competitor. A lot of people think that you guys are the 2 toughest competitors in the South. You come out 30-27. Talk your way through this fight.
Well, first off, before we go any further, I want to thank, the man upstairs, God. He gives me the strength to fight through here and make it through training camps uninjured, so we always have to give credit to him. But on James Settle, by far, honestly, in my own mind, at times I thought he was the #1 featherweight in this region, let alone just the States. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk for almost 2 years now about me and him meeting down the road because he thinks I'm pretty tough, and I know he's pretty tough now for a fact. But, you know, it started getting in my head a little bit. I looked at Tapology, and there's like 7 people, I think, and they all chose him to beat me by decision. And I said, all right, challenge accepted. And, you know, I came out here to show that wrestling is the most dominant aspect of any MMA fight. And, I mean, I'm just blessed to be able to do this opportunity and fight such a great competitor out of his team as Jay Settle. So all respect to him for fighting, too.
You know, you got there on the ground and you did everything you needed to do. You closed the distance, you hit those beautiful takedowns, but he was tying you up a lot. He was using the go-go plata. It looked like he about had that. He was using the rubber guard, all of those sneaky jiu-jitsu tricks. How did you prepare for that?
Oh, we knew exactly what he was going to do. We knew that team, you know, Absolute has some of the best jiu-jitsu in this entire area, including your gym too. I'm not taking anything away from you. But we knew that he'd be trying to use his length as, if you could just look at us, I'm a bit shorter and stockier. He's longer and lengthy. We prepared like kind of like the Nick or Nate Diaz character. And they really want a wrestler. It kind of played against him because rubber guards, you have to hold somebody real close. And in wrestling, as a fighter, you want to hold them really close so you can hit them a lot. And I mean, he tried to execute his game plan, and I just did it better. So, I mean, we both fought hard. I just came out on top this time. Love to rematch him if he's down for it.
Well, you are the champion. I want to know what's next for you, man. You're the champ. You're in the driver's seat. What are we going to see next?
Oh, well, there's this guy, I think, Austin Cowan. He's the Valor champion, right? Well, he only fights once a year, but come this fall, he'll fight twice because he's going to fight me once without take his belt and then fight me again when he has defended against him.
Well, there you have it. Let's give it up for your winner and still champion, Doug Achilles Williams.